No one remembered when she boarded the plane. Flight 782 was crowded, loud, and ordinary. Business travelers complained about delays. Families argued over seats. A child cried near the window. Nothing about the night felt special. She took seat 27A, window seat, economy class. She wore a faded grey jacket and black boots, the kind meant for long walking, not fashion. Her hair was tied back tight, not a strand loose. She carried no purse, no phone in her hands, only a small notebook tucked into her jacket pocket. She didn't smile. She didn't frown. She simply sat, buckled in, and looked out at the runway lights. To the flight attendant, she looked like any other tired passenger. To the man beside her, she was invisible. The plane took off smoothly, climbing into the night sky. City lights faded into darkness. At 35,000 feet, the cabin lights dimmed, and calm settled in. People slept. No one noticed her eyes scanning the wing during mild turbulence. No one noticed how she counted seconds when the engines changed pitch. No one noticed her hand tighten slightly on the armrest, except something felt wrong. Far forward in the cockpit, the captain frowned at the instrument panel. "Did you see that flicker?" the co-pilot asked. Before the captain could answer, a warning chime rang. Once, then again, then the screens blinked. "Engine 1, power instability," the co-pilot said. The captain reached for the radio. The lights went out. Not fully, but enough. Passengers gasped as the hum of the cabin changed, becoming thinner, weaker. Then came a sharp jolt, like the plane had hit invisible air. The engines coughed. Once, twice, then silence. The aircraft dropped. Screams filled the cabin as oxygen masks fell from the ceiling. Bags tumbled, drinks spilled. People grabbed seats, arms, anything solid. In the cockpit, chaos exploded. "Both engines losing power," the co-pilot shouted. The captain pulled the yoke hard. Nothing. The screens were dark. Navigation was gone. The radio crackled, then died. The co-pilot slumped forward. "Hey, hey!" the captain yelled, shaking him. No response. At 35,000 feet, Flight 782 became a powerless metal body falling through the sky. In the cabin, panic ruled. Someone screamed prayers. Someone shouted for help. A flight attendant tried to move, but was thrown against a seat as the plane shook violently. Seat 27A. She unbuckled. While others froze in terror, she stood steady, bracing herself against the seats. Her face was calm, not fearless, but focused. The flight attendant grabbed her arm. "Ma'am, sit down, it's not safe." She turned, eyes sharp. "How long since total power loss?" she asked. The attendant blinked. "What?" "How long?" she repeated louder. I don't know, a minute, maybe 2. She nodded once and moved forward. "Ma'am, you can't." But she was already pushing toward the cockpit, gripping seatbacks as the plane lurched. People stared at her, some angry, some desperate. "Let her go," someone shouted. "She's crazy." Or brave. The cockpit door was unlocked. Inside, the captain struggled alone, sweat dripping down his face as he fought dead controls. "Get out!" he yelled when he saw her. "This isn't a game." She ignored him. Her eyes scanned the dark panels, reading what little data remained. Her hands moved automatically, switching off systems, rerouting emergency lines. "Who are you?" the captain shouted. She spoke calmly. "Auxiliary power still has 30 seconds. Don't waste it." He froze. She reached down, pulled a manual lever and adjusted trim by feel, not sight. The plane steadied, just a little, enough to stop the scream of free fall. The captain stared at her. "What did you just do?" "Bought time," she replied. Outside, far away in the dark sky, 2 fighter jets cut through the clouds. Air defense had noticed. An unidentified aircraft had vanished from radar, descending fast. The jets closed in. Inside one cockpit, a pilot leaned forward. Visual contact acquired. Airliner appears unstable. "Try radio contact," command ordered. The jet pilot keyed his mic. "Unidentified aircraft, this is escort aircraft, respond." Static, then faint, broken but clear. A woman's voice. "Escort aircraft, Flight 782, partial control restored." The jet pilot's breath caught. "That's not the captain," he said. Inside the falling plane, she adjusted the controls again, muscles tense. The captain whispered, "How are you doing this?" She didn't look at him. "Because I've done it before," she said. The jet pilot spoke again. "Identify yourself, ma'am." A pause. The plane shook violently as turbulence slammed into them. She exhaled once and pressed the transmit button. "Former test pilot," she said evenly. "Taking over." The jet pilot went silent. In the cabin, passengers felt something change. The fall slowed. The shaking eased just enough to give hope. People began to cry, not in panic now, but relief mixed with disbelief. Who was this woman? Why did the military recognize her voice? In the cockpit, the captain watched her hands, steady, precise, experienced. "You're not on the passenger list," he said quietly. "No," she replied, "I never am." The jet pilot finally spoke again, his voice lower now. "Ma'am, we need confirmation." Her jaw tightened. She had been declared dead years ago, buried by paperwork, erased by secrecy. But tonight, gravity had called her back. "Stay with me," she said to the jets. "This aircraft isn't done yet." The plane continued forward through the dark, guided by a woman no one knew. But the sky remembered. The fighter jets tightened their formation, one on each side of Flight 782. Their lights cut through the darkness like guardians. Inside the lead jet, the pilot's hands tightened on the controls. "Command," he said slowly. "The voice matches archived records." A pause crackled through the radio. "Say again." The pilot swallowed. "It sounds like her." Inside the powerless airliner, the woman leaned forward, adjusting manual controls with both hands. Sweat rolled down her temple now, but her movements never shook. "Stay level," she muttered, more to the aircraft than to herself. The captain watched in disbelief. "We've lost both engines," he said. "Hydraulics are failing. We can't hold altitude." She nodded. "I know." She reached behind her seat and pulled a thin emergency checklist from a side compartment, scanning it in seconds. "We're a glider now," she said. "A very heavy one." In the cabin, fear returned in waves. Oxygen masks still dangled. Children cried. A man whispered prayers. But people were no longer screaming. They were listening. They felt the aircraft responding, slowly, stubbornly, to someone who understood it. The jet pilot spoke again. "Ma'am, we have limited runways within glide range. Nearest is a military strip 26 miles east." She calculated silently. "Too short," she said. "I need something longer." Command broke in. "Civilian airport 42 miles, barely possible." "Barely is enough," she replied. The captain stared at her. "That's impossible." She finally looked at him. "Impossible is already happening," she said. "Now help me." She handed him instructions, voice firm, clear. "Flaps on my count. Trim slow. Do not fight the controls." He nodded, trusting her completely now. Outside, ice formed along the wings. The aircraft shuddered again. Altitude dropped. Inside the jet escort, the second pilot whispered, "If she is who we think she is, she shouldn't exist." Years ago, her test flight had ended in fire. Official reports called it catastrophic failure, no survivors. Her name was sealed. She had walked away from the wreckage with broken ribs and a broken future. Tonight the sky demanded payment. "Escort aircraft," she said calmly. "Talk to me. I need wind data." The jet pilots fed her numbers: speed, direction, turbulence. She adjusted instantly. "Good," she said. "Stay tight." In the cabin, people began to notice her through the cockpit door. A woman whispered, "She's saving us." Another replied, "Who is she?" No one answered. The runway lights appeared on the horizon. Far, faint. The captain's breath shook. "We're too high." She shook her head. "No, we're exactly where we need to be." She adjusted the angle, trading altitude for speed. The plane roared, not with engines but with wind tearing across its skin. Warning alarm screamed. "Flaps!" she ordered. The captain obeyed. The aircraft dropped hard. Passengers screamed again as the ground rushed up. The jet pilot's voice broke. "You're coming in too fast." "I know," she said. "I don't get a second chance." The runway filled the windshield. She pulled back gently. Perfect timing, perfect feel. The wheels hit. Impact. A violent bounce. Metal shrieked. Tires burst. Sparks exploded beneath the wings. The plane slid, skidded, screaming down the runway. Then silence. Complete silence. For one heartbeat, no one moved. Then someone clapped. Then another. Then the cabin erupted in cries, laughter, prayers of thanks. People hugged strangers. Children laughed through tears. They were alive. Emergency vehicles surrounded the aircraft. Foam sprayed. Lights flashed red and blue. In the cockpit, the captain slumped back, exhausted. "We did it," he whispered. She nodded, unbuckling. "Yes," she said, "you did." Authorities rushed toward the cockpit. "Ma'am, stay where you are," someone shouted. She opened the cockpit door and walked into the cabin. Passengers stared at her like she wasn't real. Some reached out to touch her arm, as if to confirm she existed. She didn't stop. At the exit door, an officer blocked her path. "We need your identification," he said. She met his eyes, calm, tired, but alive. "You don't," she replied. Outside, the jet pilots circled one final time. "Command," the lead pilot said quietly. "Request permission to mark this incident as classified." There was a long pause. Then approved. The officer hesitated, then stepped aside. She walked down the stairs into the night air. No cameras, no interviews, no applause. Just wind. The jet pilot keyed his mic one last time. "Ma'am," he said softly, "the sky never forgot you." She stopped, looked up. "Neither did I," she replied. She disappeared into the flashing lights. The next morning, headlines spoke of a miracle landing. They praised the crew, the systems, the timing. They never mentioned the woman in seat 27A. But somewhere in a locked archive, a file reopened.